Hey Stampin' friends, welcome to the Joy of Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachel Kuhn, and today is the Coast to Coast Christmas card series, week 4, and we are out of 6 week worth of cards. Today the designer is Tammy Stafford, and she lives in Indiana and in the US. So super excited to share with you her cards today. First, we're going to start with this one. Let me show it to you just a little bit. How we have this cute little baking scene on front, and it has that fun ribbon down here to only open up to reveal a sliding out gift card holder. I put a Starbucks in there, but you can put in whatever you want with that fun Merry Christmas. So I'm loving this one. This one, she actually uses 2 stamp sets. She uses the homemade treats, and where we have a couple of these little images that we will stamp and die cut. And then we have the Ornamental Christmas, where we went ahead and are using that Merry Christmas was for the inside of the card. All right, let me go ahead and set this aside, and we'll get our stamping ready for this one. A lot of it I did pre-stamping because if it has anything that's die cut, I don't usually do that on camera just for the sake of time, and I'll give you the rough idea. If you would like the PDF for any of this 6-week series, you just need to order from my online store $50 worth, and I will send that PDF to your email. Right now is a great time to do that because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week, October, we have free shipping with a $75 order. So if you want to save money, definitely order now to get that free shipping, and then I'll also send you that PDF. So it's a win-win type of moment. Otherwise, I won't give you any measurements on this video. If you've missed any of my videos, make sure you check in the links below on my email that has been sent, and you can see them all there. All right, let's go ahead and show you some of these pieces. So I have the crumb cake here. One is for the inside. You'll see it has a couple score lines to create some fun looking going up and down tabs. And then you'll notice this one is for our card front right here. We'll go ahead and stamp on that in just a second. I then went ahead and I used the pecan pie ink for our Gingerbread Man, and I used the Real Red for this fun pastry bag, frosting bag, and then for our candy cane as well. And then for our rolling pin, I went ahead and I used the crumb cake, and the garden green was the color of choice for that oven mitten. Those go great with the colors that we're using from our designer series paper. All of that supplies you'll have on my blog, which is in the description below as well. A link to that for all of the supplies that we're using in the video today. All right, let's do our stamping. Slide these over, maybe. There we go, these little guys. Okay, let's do our fun looking, I want to call it like confetti, like when you have a sprinkles. That's what I'm thinking of, sprinkles on a cookie. So we have our crumb cake. Let me grab this, and here we're going to do crumb on crumb. This was a bonus one. This was not a part of the original design. So if you do get the PDF, you're like, hey, that's not part of the step. This is a bonus step. Always like to do a little practice. There we go. And then we'll just stamp randomly. You can stamp off if you want it to be a little bit lighter, but I like the full look for this one. Super cute. We're going to cover a lot of this area, so I'm mostly just stamping on these edges where I know it'll still be visible, and maybe one right there. Super cute. Look at that, the tiny little trees and stars and candy cane and hearts. Super cute. The next thing we need to stamp is for the inside, where we have our Merry Christmas greeting. So you'll have 2 score lines. Here's the smaller one. You're going to stamp just below that small one. I'll unfold it so you can kind of see better. So this is going to be kind of like a tab this way, so we won't see that part later. And then this is going to be folded up. So you do want to have this one up for you, so that way you get an idea of where to stamp. So I'm going to grab my Real Red. This is a brand new Real Red. I just opened it up today, so it is like super juicy. We'll do a quick practice with this one. Make sure it's nice and clear. Oh yeah. Oh, that looks great. We'll ink that up one more time. I'm going to press this down, lay that flat, and put a little Merry Christmas right there. Oh, so pretty. I love ink on crumb cake. Usually we use like basic white for the inside of our cards. So I love that we have a different color for this one. Just makes it a little bit more fun. All right, that should be it for the stamping because I've done all my pre-stamping before and we can now start our assembling. So let's go ahead and grab our liquid glue first for the front. We'll have our score line right here. Let me get that nice and burnished. There we go. It's fun. This is kind of like a mini matchbox. And there's even 2 score lines right there to create that look. Okay, grabbing our liquid glue, flipping it over. I like to go around the outline, and then sometimes I'll do like an X in the middle, just that we have enough coverage. Usually it'll have some squish areas so that when we press it down, it'll squish out so I don't get too close to the edge. And then we'll line it up right here. Nice. Next, let's go ahead and add our designer series paper. We have 2 pieces for that. This one will be on our top inside, which is the bigger of the 2. So flip that over, and you can totally switch out your color scheme for this if you wanted, and use a different side of the designer series paper. That's the beauty of Stampin' Up! Paper. There's always 2 sides. And then I'm going to come up here to the top and create a border on all sides, kind of like so. Then we're going to come to the bottom here, and we're going to fold it back up, and we're going to put our designer series paper on this side. I'm kind of liking how this looks like it could almost match if we were to go all the way through. So I'm going to have it going that direction. And I did, like I said, change this a little bit. She used some stamps that I don't have, and so I changed it by using the ribbon instead of, and the original had like a For You banner right here. So I changed the design just a little bit. All right, next, you want some strong adhesive. I like Tear Tape to be my strong adhesive, or Stampin' Sil Plus, so it just depends on what you have. And we're going to insert this part here. So I'm measuring it off, and we're going to put it on the top. So when it's laying flat, it is on that top side, and then we're going to fold it over. And the secret of this one is that mostly you just make sure it's above the score line. And then we want to make sure that when it's in here, that it's catching on it. So I'm going to have it just above that score line. Looking at both sides before I press down. Okay, because I don't want it to come completely out. So if I have it right here, I know that's going to hold it in place. And it'll have that sliding motion now when we open and close. Super cool. All right. Next, let's go ahead and design the front, and then I'll show you how we're going to close off that bottom. For the front, we're going to go ahead and have our die cut of our pan. I use a retired metal shade. We have a current one that you could totally use. I didn't have the one that was used in the tutorial. We forgot to order that one, but that one will be on my blog. So if you need that as a reference, that will be there. It's just a fun foil looking, like a cookie sheet. And I'm having it so it's on the crumb cake going at an angle. And then we're gonna add our other pieces here. We have our oven mitt, which I'm gonna liquid glue this one. Liquid glue my frosting bag, my piping bag, and my rolling pin. And then the other ones I honestly like to use glue dots for. I want those just to pop up just a little bit. And if you want to use dimensionals for this one, you totally can. So I'm going to put this on an angle, still having it on my crumb cake, so it's covering a little bit of our cookie sheet. And then we need to put our rolling pan on here. Again, you can angle it a little bit so it's covering some of that cookie sheet. And then we have our pastry bag to overlap just a little bit of our rolling pin. Pressing down, looking good already, loving it. Sorry, that foil is very shiny. So I apologize for that huge reflection. And then grab your little ginger people, and we're gonna pick out 3 of them. So we'll grab our glue dots. I'm gonna put each friend on a glue dot, like so. Peel it off, start to the top. This guy coming up off that edge. It reminds me of that song, The Gingerbread Man, Can't Catch Me as Fast as I Can, that one. I'm the Gingerbread Man. Looks like he's jumping off of this cookie sheet. So we gotta get him fast before he's gone. All right, that's the front. For the inside, we did go ahead and we're gonna add another cute little candy cane. And that one you can either use a glue dot or liquid glue. I'm gonna go ahead and use some liquid glue for this one. I'm gonna put that in the top right corner. She had 2, so if you like the 2 look better, you could add just 1 more and have 2 of those candy canes. Just a choice, of course, of yours. All right, next is how we're gonna secure it, and then we'll embellish. So for this one, we're using this amazing ribbon. It's called Shiny Real Red Ribbon. And what I'm going to do is measure it off first, kind of. So I'm putting it behind the bottom here. And I'm gonna see how much of it I think I'm gonna need. I'll cut it right about there, because we're just doing a knot bow. So I don't need as much as if I was doing an actual bow. But I do wanna cut it at an angle. Maybe. There we go. Okay. We'll have to fix that one because that was really jagged. And then we're going to take this and just go to kind of to the right bottom and tie as you can and make 1 tie to a 2 tie to create that knot bow and pull it tight. We're going to go ahead and trim our ends. And if you're like me and you don't want this ribbon to fall off or someone to accidentally take it off, because this is what's going to secure it, this is going to save us some adhesive, is to have this ribbon here and not have to put any tear tape on the inside, or we didn't put any tear tape on this pocket as well. In the tutorial, she did put some tear tape on the end, so if you're afraid of it falling out, like if this were to shake out maybe, but it's in there pretty firmly, so I'm not too worried because I use that ribbon. All right, we can flip it over on this side right here, grabbing that tear tape and just securing it to the back. And then no one would know the wiser and it would be fine. You can use a whole piece for it or just a little piece. I'm just using a little strip here. Removing that, and I'm just lifting it up just a little bit. And then I'll place it back over there. And pressing down. There we go. Now I feel like it's a little bit more secure. We have our ribbon right here. The idea of this one, I think, also is to kind of have this to go, let's see. Yeah? No. I think we're good. I think we're good with that in the front. Lastly, we just need to embellish. Some matchbooks, you have this going inside the card, but we're good with how it is. Let's grab those sequins, traditional sequins, and we're just going to take a large one, because there's 3 different sizes, and place it on the top left. And then we'll take a medium one and go angle it over our sprinkles a little bit right there. I love the glitter in this, so pretty. I love this lays flat as well. Definitely one of my favorite features of this embellishment. And one more right here. And there you have it, a beautiful gift card holder. You just put whatever favorite gift card you want inside the middle. This would be a great teacher card. This would be a great coworker card. So that way it's already wrapped nicely. You just put an envelope, write a nice note, and you have a Christmas gift and card all in one. Love that one. All right, you guys, let me go ahead and show you the other cards you might have missed already from this Coast to Coast series. Our first week we had this cute ginger girl right here. She's adorable. I just love her. And then we also have our ginger boy, who he is super cute, and he has a cup of joe in his hand. He opens up to have a gift card holder for him as well. So love him. And that was my creation. And then we have this fun one that kind of features more of the stamps instead of the dies, and that's created a really fun background for this one. So lots of ideas. If you don't have this set already, I totally recommend you getting it. There's so many things that you can use with a Gingerbread Man stamp set and the homemade treat stamp set. All right, you guys, have a great day and happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.